What?
It's time now for My Two Favorite Librarians. Brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.
Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about books with pets that don't die.
Right?
And so hard to find.
Yeah, because it's always like Marley and Me or The Art of Racing in the Rain, and the dog at the end dies. Sorry, spoiler alert. And then I'm crying, and I don't want to be crying. I'm not enjoying the crying. I want the pets to live.
This is also a Pop Sugar reading challenge, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want books where the pets live. I can't remember how this came up. It might be in a different challenge.
Book Riot Read Harder challenge, because there were a couple of topics that I looked up in research and they both had Goodreads lists.
It might be a Book Riot Read Harder challenge, because I do comb through a lot of those challenges to kind of pick out ideas for us to talk about. Because, you know, if I left it up to Chantel, every single week would be Romance Erotica Week.
No, it wouldn't be. I just find a way to bring romance and erotica into every subject area.
This is true. So how are you going to bring romance and erotica into books where the pets don't die?
Well, there's a lot of veterinary romances.
Oh, please go on. Please, please, please.
So J.C. Burton has a series called Hope, which I believe is a town. And the first book in the series is called Hope Flame, I think. And it's about small town veterinarian and cop with canine partner.
I cannot even believe that you found a way to bring romance into this topic.
Black Dagger Brotherhood?
Are they werewolves?
No, they're vampires. But the king...
I love how annoyed you are with me.
The king has a visual impairment, and he has a seeing eye dog named George, which apparently will never die. They will somehow find a way to keep that dog alive.
Oh, so there will never be crying over the dead dog in that book.
Now, somebody's wife died, which didn't go over real well, but that dog won't die.
Oh.
Priorities.
It's funny because I have a nonfiction book about a dog named George.
Oh, that's funny.
Free Days with George by Colin Campbell. And Campbell goes on a business trip, comes back, his wife breaks up with him, won't even go back into the house. They're done. They're just done. And so he's like super depressed, obviously. And one of his friends suggests that he go on to like the Humane Society website. And he picks out this dog, which is a Newfoundland dog. It weighs 140 pounds. He moves to California with his work, and the dog takes up surfing.
Oh my God.
The pictures are the best.
Do we own this book?
Yeah, it's sitting on my desk right now. I will return it after we finish this show, but you can look at the pictures before I put it back into the quarantine bins, and it will quarantine and then go back onto the shelves. But yeah, the dog is surfing and it's wearing a life jacket, and the life jacket is not big enough, probably because it should be wearing like an adult human life jacket.
Wow. Okay.
There's a surfing competition for dogs.
I wonder if there's videos of the dog surfing.
I bet there are. I bet. Surfing competition for dogs in California.
Of course there is. California.
So
whimsical land.
I flipped to the end of the book before I would even start looking at it to make sure that the dog was not dead. He's not dead.
When was this book published?
I'm not even going to look at that. He's going to live forever.
Okay.
George, the Newfoundland dog who surfs.
Okay.
You have to look at the pictures.
I went with fictional animals that don't die. Stephanie Plum's hamster.
Stephanie Plum is still 29.
27. I started
32, 18. It doesn't matter. She doesn't age.
It was really funny in the last book or 2 books ago. She was complaining about her life, which she does every book. And Lula said, "How old are you?" And she said, 54, which probably is her real age. Like if you start it, because I was reading these books in the 90s and she was 27 then.
So her hamster is probably like 35.
Yeah, exactly. So the hamster that doesn't die, and I'm willing to live with it. Time doesn't work the same in Stephanie Plumland. It's fine. Rex the hamster lives on.
But does he surf?
No, but he did bite an intruder once so that Stephanie could shoot him and they were saved. So he did save Stephanie once. I think that was in the first book too.
I don't think so. That's the only Stephanie Plum book I read. I don't remember that. The first Stephanie Plum book was dark.
It was, but it moves on from there.
So let's talk about pigs.
Yes, Charlotte's Web.
No, well, no, actually, Charlotte's Web.
The pet doesn't die. Spoiler alert. Charlotte dies, but the pet doesn't die.
The spider dies. I'm sure that the pig does die eventually.
But not in the book. If your Labrador Retriever is still alive.
No, I was going to talk about Esther, the Wonder Pig. I can tell by your blank stare that you have never heard of this.
No.
So Steve Jenkins and Derek Walter. So Steve Jenkins gets a phone call from a friend of his. They have a micro pig. This is nonfiction, by the way.
Okay.
Micro pig in quoting marks.
Yeah, I was going to say, please note the quoting marks.
That their friend begged him to take on. It was supposed to grow to be the size of like a medium dog. Like we're looking like 40 pounds. It was a real pig. There was nothing micro about it. When they wrote the first book, which is called Esther the Wonder Pig, Changing the World One Heart at a Time, that pig was over 600 pounds.
Oh, God.
They lived in a bungalow with their micro pig and not so micro pig. And so they just decided to change their whole entire life because of this pig. Both of them gave up eating meat. It was like, how can I have a pet pig and still eat bacon? And then they actually bought a farm and founded Happily Ever Esther Farm Sanctuary for farm animals in need, where they raise farm animals and no one gets to eat them. Then they wrote a second book about the farm called Happily Ever Esther, and it's about all of the animals that they've rescued. So they have a few pigs. Esther is the pig that goes inside the house, though, and also wears like outfits.
Okay. So it's like Olivia.
And they have some chickens, and they have some horses and goats and sheep and blah, blah, blah. And then they've also written a couple of children's books about Esther.
Wow, there's a real like cottage industry around this pig.
Yeah, and this is up in Ontario, so you can go and visit Esther.
I wonder if that friend is really sad that they gave away this pig now.
I don't think, I mean, in the first book, when Esther is growing and growing, and they're like trying to figure out like in their house where she can stay, and having to clean up pig poop in their house, and like putting down a full-size mattress on the floor for the pig to sleep on. Like, I feel like that friend probably went, yeah, dodged a bullet there.
I'd like to make fun of you for the way that you say house.
I'd like to make fun of you for the way that you say wolf.
Yes, but you're already doing that.
What's wrong with how I say house?
It's funny.
Thanks. All right, turn this back into romance.
No, not romance. The Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. So that takes place in present day, which was probably like early aughts, I think 2004, 2007 or something like that. And there's a cat called Church that lives at the Institute. In the prequel series, which takes place in 1878, you find out that Church was actually rescued by a different shadow hunter and somehow came to in London and somehow ended up at the New York Institute, and as far as I know is still going strong.
So that cat is old.
Yeah, and mean apparently too.
Treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen.
That's the way you go.
Cozy Mysteries.
Yes.
Cozy Mysteries have a ton of animals.
Again, a lot of vet. Cozy Mysteries, I feel like.
I picked up a couple and neither of them were vets.
Oh, interesting. Maybe someone needs to write some vet cozy mysteries.
There probably are vet cozy mysteries. You know, I didn't like research all of them. I just picked up a couple. I picked up Lorien Berenson. Do you think that's how you pronounce the name?
Sure.
Okay. She has a whole series of cozy mysteries that involve dogs. And I just love them because of the pictures of the dogs on the cover. And so the library owns, either in paper or ebook, The Bark Before Christmas, Chow Down, A Christmas Howl, Gone with the Woof. That's my favorite. Here Comes Santa Paws, Jingle Bell Bark, Live and Let Growl, A Pedigree to Die For, Rough Justice, rough spelled R-U-F-F.
Yeah, we got it.
I know, but I'm amused. And Wagging Through the Snow. There are others, but, I'm not going to list all of the ones that we have off. I don't really enjoy reading cozy mysteries. They don't appeal to me, but I love the titles.
And there have to be cat ones, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's the Rita Mae Brown.
Yes.
Sneaky Pie is the cat. And there is, falling right out of my head,
There's a Lily something or something with an L.
Braun.
Yeah.
Lillian Braun. Maybe that's
Something. I feel like there's a third name. But there's got to be like cat cozy mysteries like there's dog cozy mysteries. Although the cats may be doing the murdering in those books.
Yeah, well, and cats aren't like, let's go investigate. They're more like, meh, there's nothing in it for me. I'll just be over here licking my leg. I did pick up a bunny cozy mystery.
Oh, bunnies.
Left Fur Dead, F-U-R,
Nice.
by J.M. Griffin.
Bunnies potentially could be murderers too.
So, in this mystery series, Jules can communicate telepathically with her bunny, who is named Bunny.
Wow, original.
Yeah. So in the first book, they find a dead body laying out on the marsh. It's a mime that Jules knows because she does like petting zoos and the mime does children's parties. So they've like crossed paths before.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And that's the first book in the Jules and Bun mystery series. The second book, which came out in 2020, is called Who's Dead, Doc?
Okay.
It's all about bunnies.
Nice.
I am greatly amused by this.
I can see this.
Do you have any other?
I was thinking Phoebe and Her Unicorn.
Oh, I love those books.
Yeah, the unicorn is still alive.
Technically, they're like kids' books, but I think any age can enjoy them.
They're so
love
delightful.
them. Well, the unicorn, of course, is still alive. The unicorn is magical.
The unicorn is her imaginary friend. Maybe.
I know. I think the unicorn lives, is real. Marigold, Heavenly Nostrils.
Love it. Very good books. Very good books.
I do love those. They're so super cute. The book I'm currently reading, I mean, I guess it does have a pet in it. The main character, Zelly, has a giant tiger thing that has horns and is named Nala. And it's big enough for her to ride. And in fact, she and her brother and an escaped princess are all riding on this giant tiger thing.
What book is this?
Children of Blood and Bone.
Oh,
by Tomi Adeyemi.
Yes.
So it's the first book in a teen fantasy series about magic. So the king has gotten rid of magic and somehow they're getting magic back. And it's like an adventure and fantasy and...
Interesting.
So there is sort of a pet in it. I haven't gotten to the end. I really, really hope that the tiger thing doesn't die. It would make me very sad.
I can't help you with that.
What are you reading?
So I'm kind of on the hunt for something new to read. So I'm re-listening to a favorite, which still comes into my January reading challenge. So I'm re-listening to The Raven Prince by Elizabeth Hoyt, which does have a dog in it that does not die. And the dog has no name. I can't remember what they actually name the dog. In the story, he saves the dog and the dog follows him home. And he's like, oh, I've got this stupid dog with me now. And it just follows me around. It's like a great, big, huge, like Great Dane. And she's like, well, what's his name? And he's like, I don't know. I don't need to give it a name. It's here. And so she keeps like throwing out all these names for him, like, let's call him Sweetie and let's call him Duke. And he's like, well, no, then he'd outrank me. So no, he can't be Duke. And so in the end, I think they have a competition to see who the dog will come to, and then that's its name. But I can't remember what the dog actually gets named, but the dog survives the whole book.
I hope the dog is named George.
It's not George, I'm pretty sure.
I want to remind people that we have increased the limit of items you can borrow from Hoopla to 10 a month, which is very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Because I do like to borrow things from Hoopla. They have ebooks, audiobooks, TV shows, movies, music, graphic novels. Did I miss anything?
I think that sounds like everything.
It's a good variety. You don't know what we're talking about next week. I haven't told you yet.
I forgot to look at the list.
What do you think we're talking about next week?
I have no idea. We're moving into February. Is it romance?
It's
Is it
romance
time?
So you can actually talk about romance. I wonder if I can find like the least romantic books to talk about.
That's every week. You just have to tell me what you're reading, and they're the least romantic things ever.
It'll be some sort of dystopian.
There's dystopian romance. Would you like one?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. We'll talk about that next week.
I really liked it, which means you probably wouldn't. And I can't say what I want to say while we're on the radio, so I'll tell you after.
It's not family friendly.
No.
So we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
My 2 favorite librarians. Brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.